like a wedding where the groom or the bride runs away and the wedding planner has to make the most of what is left.
So you are the wedding planner?
Yes, I was.
And the bride was Priyanka Gandhi?
I said groom or the bride. If you look at the campaign theme, we started with Sattai Saal UP Behal. This clearly tells you that the idea was not to have any kind of alliance. But third week of September, surgical strike happened. And that somewhere influenced the decision of Congress leadership, because there was some kind of panic and understanding in the top leadership of Congress that in the given circumstances, going alone is not a good idea. So
no, but there was no way that Rahul Gandhi by himself could have won Uttar Pradesh. You wanted Priyanka to become the face, and she never was very keen, was she?
It's very difficult to say if Rahul could have won it or not, but any plan has to be implemented full. And I'm no one to say that even if we were to implement the full plan, we would have won. But at least I'm very sure about it, that it would have revived Congress. Assume that Gathbandhan happens and assume that BJP's number comes down, but still it would not revive Congress. It would possibly help BSP or SP. But if what we were doing in UP, if Congress would have completed the campaign, we would have probably emerged as the challenger.
So he's a difficult groom to work with then, this man.
Leaders at this level, they have the big egos. They are men or women of their own thinking. So I wouldn't categorize him, or I wouldn't term him any difficult than others. But yes, UP, we could not implement what we agreed, and bulk of the blame lies with me.
Did you get a sense?
With us some insight into how it was discussed at that time?
So it was that time also it was discussed in the context of Congress's possible revival in UP and beyond, and what role she could play, and what role in UP or outside UP could be considered for her. And in that context, there would have been quite extensive discussions with all people who were concerned with such decisions.
At that time, you know, because you were, of course, working, you had a very successful campaign in Punjab, and you, of course, at that time were, you know, working with the Congress party and maximizing the results for them. You were called one of the people who, you know, got that alliance to happen together. At that time, were you one of the people who thought that she should have joined politics at that time itself? Things would have been different, do you think?
Certainly, you see, alliance happened much later. When we started working, that was in February 2016. The idea was how Congress could be revived. That is the question, that was the challenge that was put to us. And whatever we gathered on the ground, one of the factors was her entry and her possible entry as a face. And as we gathered that information, that was brought to the notice of the leadership of the Congress, and then after it was discussed and built in as a part of the original campaign, which did not happen ultimately, but until June, it was very much on the table, and as I said earlier, it was discussed, and a lot of us believe that this is something that is going to make a very big impact in UP.
Yeah, that's exactly what our information as well was, that, you know, you were also one of those people who was a big, you know, proponent of this theory, that this is one thing that could work. Why do you think it didn't work at that time, or it wasn't accepted at that time, Prashant Kishore, and now it has?
Well, this was always to be a decision that were to be taken by the family, and more importantly she herself. But my sense is it's a change of leadership in Congress would have played its own part. That time, to the best of my recall, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, who was then the Vice President, was all for this idea of she taking a very active role. But for whatever reason, as a party, somewhere in I think August or September, they decided not to do that, and then look for the alliance.
That's very, you're giving us very interesting details indeed. Can you tell us a little bit of insight, because
see, she was involved as much as she could have been for someone who was not in politics. Beyond that, to comment about her working style and other things, I think now that she's in public domain, it is for the people to judge and see, and all of you are there to observe minutely and comment about it. So there is no secret, at least not now. Now that she is in public domain, people can look at her style and what she does, what she doesn't do, what she does right or what she doesn't do right.
Of course, but we wanted some of the, because now it's become official now, her role. So we wanted some behind the scenes of exactly what was happening.
When?
At that time, when you all worked together on Uttar Pradesh. Yes, yes, please.
No, in UP her role was, as I said, was all in the background. She was there to help whatever was the decision of the party, and all those who were leading the charge, all those who were at the forefront, the Congress General Secretary, Congress faces in the state, including the chief ministerial face of that time, all leadership there. She was there to help. She was there to coordinate whatever was planned and was to be done. So broadly, that is what she was doing. But I don't think she had any frontal role.
Okay, I want you to